Good morning, everyone, and welcome back for the summer term. Wherever you are in the United Kingdom, Europe, or the world, you're all most welcome. We're not together, of course, this morning in the school hall, but nonetheless we'll begin the new term in our usual way by singing our school hymn, after which Maria, Victoria and Anna will lead us in our prayers. So stand up, invite your family to join in, and let us all sing our school hymn together.
We know that you love and care for us with an everlasting love. Today, as we pray in our own homes, around the United Kingdom, Europe, and the world, we are united as the Queensgate family. We thank you for our holidays and ask for your blessing on each one of us as we begin our summer term. Open our minds to the possibilities that this term holds as we continue our remote learning. Open our eyes to the wonders of each new day. Open our hearts to the love of your Spirit and help us grow in mind and body.
In your loving care, all who are affected by the coronavirus, wherever they may be. Keep us strong in faith, hope, and love. Bring relief to those who are ill. Console families who have lost loved ones. Protect our doctors, nurses, and all who care for us, both in the NHS and around the world. We pray today for the health and well-being of our nation and of our world. We pray in particular for our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, as he recovers from the coronavirus, and also for the health and well-being of all in government. Give them the courage and strength of mind and body to lead us wisely and safely in the weeks ahead.
Thanks for Queen Elizabeth and the inspiring example she sets of calm resilience and hope. Guard and guide her and bless her with health and happiness. We commend ourselves and all for whom we pray to the mercy and protection of God. May your love that never ends be our comfort, strength and guide. Amen.
I'm so pleased that you're all back ready for school, and I'm particularly pleased this morning to welcome Jessie, who joins Form 4. A very warm welcome to Queensgate, Jessie. I hope that all of you and your family have been safe and well and have been able to enjoy the Easter holidays. But I'm sure that there have been very different holidays to those in the past. No visits to family and friends, no skiing or beach holidays, no visits to theatres, cinemas, restaurants, galleries, museums, and the like. No going to church for Easter, no shopping, no hanging out with friends, and the list goes on. But I hope that rather than thinking of the things we couldn't do, all of which we'll appreciate so much more in the future, I hope that you find new or perhaps reinstated more traditional ways of keeping in touch with family and friends, using your leisure time and being involved with your community. With us, we've been very fortunate in having beautiful sunshine, and we've enjoyed our daily exercise, going out on our bikes and discovering new paths through the woods. I've enjoyed having time to cook, having time to speak to family and friends, using the landline rather than a mobile. I rediscovered Easter cards and find pleasure in writing messages just like Christmas cards and putting them in the post. I was very proud indeed of making Easter decorations for our table, and spring cleaning, I found, is very therapeutic. At the same time, I've had time to embrace new technology, which I hope to put to good use in the term ahead. But what has struck me most in our village is everyone's willingness to look out for one another, to offer help and exchange cheery greetings whenever we meet. A real community spirit, that whilst we are staying apart to keep others safe, we are all trying to ensure that no one is alone. In one of our outings, we happened to meet our local vicar, and at a distance, of course, we exchanged very useful ideas for recording assemblies and services. I'm sure that all of you too have found interesting and novel ways of spending your time, whilst looking out for others, and we hope in a future assembly you will share some of these with us. Last weekend, we celebrated Easter with its message of hope, new life and new beginnings. A very appropriate message for a new term, and especially such a different new term. Very shortly, we'll explain in more detail about the term ahead. But first, I would like you to reflect on one of the opportunities which this period of social distancing and remote learning gives us, and that is time. Unable to get involved in all the usual busyness of our daily lives, we have more time. And I've chosen a short reading, in fact an old Irish prayer, which I hope will inspire you to use this gift of time wisely and for good purpose, not just in the weeks ahead, but also when we do get back together. And remember that although the timescale is still unclear, we will get back to school together. Luna and Ika are going to read this morning.
Take time. Take time to work. It is the price of success. Take time to think. It is the source of power. Take time to play. It is the secret of perpetual youth. Take time to read. It is the foundation of wisdom.
Time to be friendly. It is the road to happiness. Take time to dream. It is hitching your wagon to a star. Take time to love and be loved. It is the privilege of the gods. Take time to look around. The day is too short to be selfish. Take time to laugh. It is the music of the soul.
Thank you, Luna and Ika. During the holidays, the staff and senior management team have been busy getting ready for the new term. And I would like to say a very big thank you to all of them for their time, their work, and for what they've achieved. I'm now going to hand over to the senior management team, beginning with Mr. Williams, to tell you about remote learning in the summer term.
Welcome back to Queensgate. Shortly after the 6 days of remote learning at the end of last term, we sent a survey to your parents and over 200 of them replied. Many of them gave detailed comments about some of the aspects of that learning that were going well, and many also made comments and suggestions about other ways in which we could help you more. As you would expect, there's no perfect solution for everyone. On the one hand, we need some kind of timetable to structure your day and your week, but having the full timetable would be too much, and it would also miss several opportunities for other kinds of learning, as well as giving you time with your families. So, over the holidays, many members of staff have worked hard to try and put together the best possible curriculum for you. In all year groups now, we've reworked the timetable and made sure that there are opportunities for all of you to have some live lessons, so you'll be able to interact with your staff and classmates in much the same way as you would in a normal lesson. Nobody knows how long this kind of remote learning is going to last. It may be a fair bit longer than we currently think, or it may finish far sooner than we think. We just don't know. But in a sense, the answer to that question doesn't affect what our task is now. I think our task is, first, to keep safe and look after ourselves. Secondly, to make sure that we get through a decent amount of work while we're working from home, so that when we do return to the school buildings, we're in much the same place in the curriculum as we normally would be. And finally, we should be open to opportunities to learn in different kinds of ways that have been required of us in this new situation. Mr. Cronwell is going to say a little bit more about that now.
Remote learning. Girls, welcome. Remote learning should not be seen as a difficulty to overcome. Instead, it should be seen as an opportunity to acquire new skills, to develop your study habits, and finally to consolidate your learning in new and exciting ways. Remote learning will encourage independent learning. Working independently allows you to take ownership of your learning, and so you will acquire the knowledge and understanding of new material in a different way than in a traditional classroom setting. Remote learning will improve your digital literacy. You'll be developing your skills in using programs such as Teams and Zoom that are routinely used by the world's leading companies, as well as indeed by the British government. This will allow you to feel confident that you will be equipped to cope with what is a rapidly changing digital world. It will give you the opportunity to improve your organizational as well as your time management skills. Remote learning will allow you to learn how to prioritize tasks as well as your assignments. In this way, you will come to realize the importance of managing your time so you can meet all of your deadlines. Remote learning will also develop your growth mindset. Your individual abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Brains and talent are just the starting point. Remote learning will encourage you to believe that with dedication and hard work, each and every one of you can accomplish great things. Finally, I believe that remote learning will allow you to develop your research skills, which are so vital. Through this period, you will develop skills such as evaluating and presenting key information, skills that artificial intelligence can never replace. Remote learning can be challenging, but I have learned that from being at Queensgate for now 30 years, is that a QG girl thrives on rising to such challenges. Embrace remote learning and all of you will thrive in this brave new world.
In the summer term, we'll be continuing remote learning, and we've been hugely impressed by the way we've adapted to this new way of working before Easter. That said, we believe we can further improve our offer so that our remote learning provision is more effective for all year groups, from remove to the upper sixth and their families, whilst increasing face-to-face time with your teachers. I would now like to share with you the framework we've produced to encourage a varied and blended approach to remote teaching and learning, which combines a range of digital and non-digital methods, tools and strategies. Where possible, at least 50% of your lessons will now have a live element by Zoom or Microsoft Teams, which may be in conjunction with other learning activities. We hope that this will maximize the live interaction you have with your teachers and your peers and enable you to use features such as annotate live, screen share, and breakout rooms for feedback or collaborate on projects. For the remaining 50% of your lessons, your teachers might create pre-recorded videos or audio files for you to listen to help you complete your assignments. These pre-recorded sessions will be included as part of MyQG task and will be more instruction and content-based. Where possible, your teacher will also be available during the lesson time for questions and dialogue by email. Finally, to encourage more self-directed and independent learning, your teachers might set a task on MyQG for you to complete, and the work set, such as worksheets, research, reading, online quizzes, or other effective modes of learning, will usually cover the length of the lesson. We hope that these 3 approaches from remote learning, live lessons, pre-recorded sessions, and MyQG tasks, will encourage you to engage with your learning actively and positively.
I'll now say a little bit about the school day. The lessons in your timetable won't change. You'll still have periods 1 to 9 as usual, but they'll be shorter than before and according to a new timetable. After an 8:40 registration and sometimes a form-time activity or assembly, you'll start period 1 at 9 o'clock exactly, and the single lessons will all be 30 minutes. So period 2 will finish by 10 o'clock. There'll be 2 15-minute breaks throughout the day, and lunch break will be 2 hours long from 12:30 to 2:30. As well as eating lunch, there are several things you might do during this time. Some lunchtime clubs and activities will be running as normal. You might also want to use that time to finish off some work or an assignment so that you don't have to do any work in the evening. If you play a musical instrument, lunchtime will be a good time to do some practice. You also might want to email one of your teachers and perhaps ask about something you didn't understand during morning lessons. And from time to time, a member of staff, such as a head of year, might want to arrange a meeting with you or a small group of pupils via Zoom and discuss a particular issue. Finally, you might want to use the lunchtime simply to be with your family and perhaps get outside and do some exercise, especially if it's a day when you weren't able to have any timetabled PE. Lessons resume at 2:30 and school finishes at 4. You sign out at the end of the day, a little like an afternoon registration. If you're in a different time zone, as a rule, you should log on when it is morning for you, register, and then join the school day according to the lessons which are being taught. Then catch up other lessons later on in the day. Ask your head of year if you have any problems. Do try to be ready a little bit early for the lessons so that you can join them on time. Occasionally, there will be times when you have technical difficulties or other difficulties, but please don't worry when this happens. Just like when you join Queensgate, your teachers will be quite understanding as you find your way around this new school.
Good morning, girls, and welcome to the summer term. Although we are not able to be in school, you will need to register online during this remote learning period. This will be twice a day using 2 short online registration forms available from your MyQG dashboard. And I will share my screen now to show you the forms. Once you have logged into MyQG, you will see that you have the option to register here. You will need to select this every morning during the remote learning period before 8:45 a.m. Click to open the form. Enter your first name, your last name, select your form, and then select present to indicate that you are present for remote learning that day, and then click submit. Also on the MyQG dashboard, you will see that there is a link to the daily activity log and sign out form. You will need to complete this at 4 p.m. each day during the remote learning period. Click to open the form. Again, you will need to enter your first name, your last name. You will need to select your form. And then there is space for you to list the lunchtime or afternoon activities that you took part in that day. Those might be lunchtime clubs or hobbies or perhaps family activities. And we look forward to reading about all of your exciting activities completed during the remote learning period. Then select yes to indicate that you have or will complete your remote learning timetable template for the following working day. And then select yes to sign out from the remote learning day at 4 p.m. and click submit. So good luck, girls, and I hope that you enjoy your remote learning.
Good morning, girls. Well, this seems very new and very different, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of your faces later on this morning for our first lesson. You might be feeling excited or a little overwhelmed, so I wanted to offer some words of reassurance and just a few reminders about how to keep yourself and others safe in this online world we're entering. First, you might be wondering what will happen if you're not well enough to engage with your remote lessons. The answer is to follow just the same procedures as you and your parents always have done. Your parents just need to email the school office in the normal way. As you're going to be registering online, we'll be able to monitor your attendance, health and well-being wherever you are in the world, regardless of your time zone. You might also be wondering what happens if you don't submit assignments. Well, we hope that you'll be able to adapt to the new routine quickly, but if there is a problem, it's important that your parents know. So they'll be sent an alert that will be called a remote learning notification missing assignment. This will help us to work with you and your parents to resolve any issues. I want to say a few words about isolation, screen time and mental health. We know that spending too much time alone and in front of a screen can affect your mood. It's inevitable that you will have more screen time, but you can help yourself by following basic guidance such as having tech-free meal times, not having devices in your bedrooms overnight, and taking regular breaks, including extended periods engaged in activities that don't involve screen time, such as exercising or reading or even Monopoly. Every week you'll be sent a wellbeing survey which will ask you to rate your well-being on a scale of 1 to 10. There'll be a comment box for you to fill in too. If you give yourself a score of 4 or below, your parents will be telephoned to see what we can do to help. If you do find that you're struggling, don't forget that you can speak to your form tutor, head of year, or Julie Johnson, who is continuing with her individual counselling sessions via Zoom. Online safety is an area of concern because vastly increased screen time corresponds to increased risk. It's very important that you behave responsibly in order to protect yourself and others. We want to protect everyone in Queensgate's community, and we'll investigate any reports of inappropriate behaviour. If you do see something online that upsets you, just go through the sensible steps of telling your parents, taking a screenshot which can be used as evidence, and forwarding it to your head of year. One new area of safeguarding that we all have to think about is conduct during the live interactive sessions of Zoom or Teams. Briefly, if you're going to be involved in the live sessions, you should be prepared 5 minutes beforehand in a family room with a neutral background and dressed appropriately. Your form tutor will go through this in more detail with you, but I just wanted to emphasise that it is strictly prohibited for you to record, photograph, and or share with others the live stream sessions. We hope that the new virtual school day will help with a healthy routine, and we hope that the exciting array of extracurricular activities, including house events, school council meetings, competitions, challenges and charity work that we're finding cunning ways to run, will help you to find some joy, perhaps a new skill, or even a passion by the time we're back in Queensgate.
At the end of last term, I was very impressed how all of you adapted to the new routine of remote learning. When the holidays came, we spent time considering research from other countries, as well as feedback from our own surveys, before deciding how to develop our provision. And today you've heard the senior management team outlining this remodelled remote learning programme for the summer term. There is no doubt that we're all on an exciting educational journey as we embrace new challenges and new opportunities. We are all pioneers, I would say, as no previous generation has had to face such a sudden and dramatic educational transition. But I know that the Queensgate community, staff, girls and parents alike, will not be daunted by challenge. We will rise to that challenge and together we will aim to make the most of every opportunity in the term ahead, not only for academic development and discovery, but also for personal enrichment and, very importantly, for social connection. We are all on this journey together and here to support one another. So just remember, if you're unsure at any stage, please don't hesitate to ask for guidance. Good luck to all of you in this very special term. I wish you all every success. As Ms Yates has mentioned, as well as academic work, we hope to have house events this term, including Sports Day and other activities, to give you opportunities to work together, to have connection with one another, and to have some fun. PE will be more important than ever to ensure our mental and physical well-being. So girls, make sure that you do some exercise at least weekly, but daily would be even better. Perhaps during your extended lunchtime or after school, and perhaps inviting other family members to join. We hope also that you will continue with your excellent charity work and continue to think of others, and that you will come up with some novel and interesting ways to do so remotely. In particular, we must find ways of helping our community and not forgetting our very good Age UK friends. Mrs. Kamanzuli has put together a remote calendar, which you can find in MyQG, which contains the dates of some of these events. Ms. Hines, our communications officer, will be compiling a weekly newsletter, as well as a half-termly QG News Lite. And she will be in touch to get items from you in the form of text, photographs or videos. It will be another very good way for us to keep in touch and to see all the interesting and creative things you are doing. Now, an assembly wouldn't be an assembly without presentations. Last term, a number of you took ABRSM music examinations. However, I can't present your certificates this morning, so the results will appear on the screen and certificates will be sent to you in due course. Congratulations to the following. Grade 1, Daria. Grade 2, Olivia, Sophia and Amani. Grade 3, Natalia and Zaina. And Grade 5, Nikita, Valentina, Francesca and Juliet. Well done to all of you. And as always at the beginning of term, I would like to appoint form captains. In Remove, Isha, India and Sophia. In Lower 4, Melissa, Sasha and Alyssa. In Form 4, Larison, Sophia and Laura. Form 5, Tara, Annabelle and Yip. Upper 5th, Tara and Mathilde. And Lower 6 will remain as they were last term, and that is Greta and Oki. Now, Lower 6 prefects, these will be announced next week. My apologies to all of you for making you wait just another few days. I'm now going to hand over to Mr. Webb-Taylor for some music notices.
Hi girls, welcome back. I thought I'd just let you know about what is happening with instrumental lessons and ensembles this term. Firstly, instrumental lessons are continuing as normal. Your teachers will be contacting you via email with a time for your lesson using Zoom. I've already contacted you and your parents about the details for this, but please remember to check when your lesson is and to join it. You should also send an email to your academic teacher explaining why you'll be missing part of his or her lesson. You will need to follow the same protocol with your instrumental lessons as your academic lessons, remembering that you will need to place your video device somewhere where you and your instrument can be seen, and the microphone will always be on. Choirs and instrumental groups will be running as usual this term, but I've managed to arrange for them to be running at lunchtimes rather than before school. Rehearsals will be virtual, with everyone joining in, playing or singing along to backing tracks while seeing everyone do the same. Once learnt, you will be sending in a recording of your parts, which will be all mixed together on a computer to produce a fantastic final performance. With a bit of auto-tune and reverb, everyone will sound like a superstar. Sinfonietta, chamber choir, flute group, Friday singers, and QGs will all be doing this. With regard to QGs, Miss Sanson will be back this term taking this, and she would love to have as many pupils in Remove, Lower 4th, and 4th form to join in to make a super virtual choir. Look out for an invitation to the first rehearsal next Wednesday lunchtime. If any of you want to make your own virtual girl band, vocal ensemble, or instrumental group, please get in touch, as I'm very happy to help out arranging, mixing, and editing your recordings, or just to tell you how you can do it yourself on your phone. I look forward to seeing and hearing some great music making this term.
Well, that does bring us to the end of Assembly. As we finish, may I urge you all to keep hope and joy in your hearts, keep safe and keep well, and make the most of remote learning in the summer term. My very best wishes to all of you. And now you'll be going back to your forms to hear more about the term ahead.